Last time that we looked at TikTok's most dysfunctional family, things were worse than ever. The patriarch of the family, Tophiachu, had just been thrown in jail, and the rest of the family found themselves embroiled in numerous controversies, from drama with Brother Chu's ex, to Mama Chu's habit of using some pretty offensive words in her live streams. Everyone, including Tophia, had their own problem. But as 2024 came around, things would get so much worse. More legal troubles, more pet problems, more living situation issues. Just when I thought this story was dying down, things pop off once again. Today we are going to be covering the majority of the Slidell family's 2024, all of the controversies they found themselves in, and exactly where each member of the family is today. If you haven't watched my previous Tophiachu video, it's not necessary, but I highly recommend you watch it as it breaks down each member of the family and why they're so infamous online. But a short summary would be that Tophiachu, the daughter of this family, went viral on TikTok for a number of cringe posts. And upon the public's discovery of her, they also delved into her family, who turned out to be just as entertaining. The cherry on top was the controversies that each member of the family found themselves in, leading to their status as infamous characters online. And I wish I could say these last couple months would be any different. In fact, it's been the exact opposite. Tophiachu would start off the year with a bang by finding herself in yet another controversy. Tophia claimed that she was fostering a cat. The cat was real, but I highly doubt that she was fostering it. Her living situation doesn't exactly bode well for fostering animals. They already have a small dog called Hershey, who has been seen to be incredibly angry, and has also been seen to urinate and defecate on the floors because Tophia and the family are too lazy to take it outside. People knew that there would be issues with this cat, and they were completely correct. Tophia was seen feeding the cat the exact same dog food that she gave Hershey, her dog, and the cat seemed generally unhappy, screaming all the time during her live streams. Viewers were extremely concerned with this situation, and rightly contacted the proper authorities. Animal control would rehome the cat, and also reveal that they had never fostered any animals with Tophia. It appears that Tophia either purchased or adopted this cat. The only reason I can think of her doing this is because she thought it would limit backlash to her getting another pet, that instead of obtaining another one, she was fostering it out of the kindness of her heart. This would be a completely different situation if we all weren't well aware of how her dog Hershey was living. And speaking of Hershey, I have some terrible news. For those who have seen my previous video, you know that I love this little guy. Hershey doesn't take any of the family's crap, so it's with a heavy heart that I tell you Hershey is most likely no longer with us. Hershey ran out the Slidell's front door during an altercation with Tophia and her neighbor.
So anyways, I was sitting here, the door was cracked open, and I hear, you know, like two dogs fighting, like attacking each other, and I said, that's Hershey, because I recognize Hershey's growl anywhere. Good morning, Mr. And so this big black dog ran up to my mom, ran up to Hershey. The door was cracked open. I thought, because the area we were in, I remember I had seen wolves and stuff, so I thought it was a wolf, until I looked, I got up to go out the door to look. This black thing went that way, this black thing went this way, Hershey went this way. I opened the door, and there's this big dog chasing Hershey. After we managed to get the dog in, I went real quick to close the door. Hershey had gotten out, and then it's sitting right there. The owner is in the door. The other owner is in here. Their dog is sitting right there. They decided to grab their dog when Hershey leaped out of the room. So they had the dog by the collar. Hershey was like, come here, like she wasn't even doing anything. Her dog is sitting right there by the sink. Our dog is outside. I'm trying to make sure this dog's not going to eat anything else or eat other animals, because I don't know how vicious this dog is. Hershey's gone. I'm not gonna say it's kind of, it's a little graphic. So someone left the dog in half on the side of the road, and like they got it wasn't Hershey.
This whole situation is a tough thing for me to cover because half of me is actually devastated that Hershey is gone, and the other half can't help but chuckle anytime Mama Chu lets out that beautiful cough, which I've noticed each member of the family also seems to be developing, but I digress. Hershey's loss is devastating to the fan base. She was universally beloved, innocent of all the crimes that the Slydells had perpetrated, an unwilling passenger. Hershey, I really hope that you found a good home, but the last that we'll ever know of the goat is that she ran off into the wilderness in search of a better life. As I stated, the fan base was devastated at the loss of Hershey. Tophia also claimed that she was upset about the situation, but every time that she cried on livestream, she produced no tears, leading people to question every aspect of this story. Did Hershey actually run away? Was she given to somebody? We'll never know. But what I do know is that Tophia moved on pretty quickly. Those who have lost a pet know that they always share a special little piece of your heart. Even though they are gone and you may get another pet in the future, they're still with you. Tophia rarely ever mentions Hershey. She did almost nothing to try to find her when she ran away. And then she has the audacity to get another puppy.
So that's why we have the puppy. It's not like a foster dog, because no, if we got another foster animal, we would probably get in trouble with animal control, because they were like, well, you're not, I don't know, they were giving a hassle about the cat. It's gonna be a big dog too. I'm like, no, because this was the only dog that was like white out of the whole litter. And I cannot, no, we're not, no, it's not our dog, we're not keeping it. There's a, they had a litter of dogs just like this one, but no, we're not keeping it. The owner is here, but I believe it's a pit bull or something of that breed.
I'm not trying to talk smack on any pit bulls. I've met plenty of them. They're fine dogs. But this is the last kind of dog that Tophia needs to have. These are dogs with high muscle mass, high pain threshold, and a big mouth. Tophia had a highly aggressive dog that was only 2 feet long, and dogs are often a reflection of their owners. Imagine if Hershey was the size of a pit bull. It would be absolute chaos. No way is Tophia gonna be able to handle something that big on a leash, let alone Mama Chu. Tophia said that this was her brother's ex's dog, and that they were simply watching it for a short period of time, but people were seriously concerned that she had gotten another dog and that it was some kind of a pit bull mix. Another strange part of this situation was, why are they watching her brother's ex's dog? Anyone that knows about her brother, Donald Slydell Jr., knows that he's been in a very toxic relationship with his ex Angie for some years now. Angie would have new boyfriends and still ask Donald for rides and help in certain aspects of her life. They have called the police on each other numerous times, so I don't understand how this relationship has remained amicable. I guess my question is answered by the next clip I'm about to show you, because their relationship is not amicable. For reasons that I cannot discern, Brother Chu, Mama Chu, and Tophia would enter Angie's motel room without her consent illegally. My personal headcanon is that they were there to retrieve some of Brother Chu's things, or try to locate the dog that Angie had previously taken back. I don't know. The only thing I do know is that they're not supposed to be in there.
All over the beds, underneath everywhere. The person that was renting the room.
Okay, I'll let them know. If you let them know, then that's fine.
I was just going to help you guys clean it.
Oh, they're gonna dox me? Well, this isn't my room, so.
Okay.
Who are they gonna dox? This isn't my room. If you say they're gonna dox me, this isn't my room. Not my room. This is Nicole's room.
Start just in the live. Start grabbing the stuff. Just
Just so you can see, this is not my room. Just showing you guys for proof. You guys can screen record this shit, post it wherever you want to. But I'm gonna end the live because I got shit I gotta do. But this is Angie. This is Nicole. This is the one who tried to say that I did shit, talk shit about me online. can't even take care of her fucking animals.
I love how Tophia comes in there and tries to deflect all of the blame onto Angie. Tophia has faced much scrutiny in the past for the way that she treats her own animals, so I think she believed that by posting this, all of the hate would instantly transfer to Angie. Fun fact, this is the same motel that the Slydells are staying in. That's right, Brother Chu's ex is just down the hall, so it seemed that the family had no issues walking over there and entering her room when she wasn't present. Brother Chu has stayed there with her at certain points, so I don't doubt that he has a key. The more I think about it, he was there just to grab some of his things. Still doesn't make it any less illegal. And when you look at the timing of all of this, it's kind of strange. Right after this, the Slydell family would be kicked out of their motel room, having no choice but to live in their car. It was an all-time low for the family. Hershey Chu was gone, Papa Chu was in jail, and everyone else was homeless. These were dark days for the Tophiachu universe, but there would be a ray of light at the end of the tunnel. Some good news not only for the family, but also for listeners. The return of Ezekiah Mordecai Busario, aka Papa Chu, who would be let out of jail around the end of June. And right after Papa Chu got out of jail, body cam footage was released of his arrest.
Yeah, so we got a because I guess is he having mental stuff going on, like lack of fights? I would rather him cooperate, or you guys cooperate and let's come in. I don't want him to fight with you though.
I don't know what you can try to come in, but like I said, I don't know if he'll fight with us or not. But
okay,
he's just scared of the police in general.
Okay,
and that's his mindset.
Okay, go ahead, close it up. Just
I got it.
is there anybody else inside?
Just my sister.
Okay, grab her too.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm okay.
You okay?
I don't hear it all. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's kind of what's going on a little bit. So we're here to do a welfare check on him. Okay. He also does have a felony warrant out for his arrest. So we're not leaving without him. We're going to try to obviously get him out of here peacefully.
So either way, he has to go.
Yes.
He needs to go, but I don't want him to be mad with you guys because you didn't do anything.
So that's why we got everybody out of the house, because we need to make sure that you guys are all safe as well.
That's understandable. I'm sorry about this, guys.
Donald, I need you to come out, okay?
Police department, you're being detained, you're not free to leave.
You have I did? For the police department, you have a warrant for your arrest. I need you to step out, okay?
Come over here, Donald.
I can't do that.
You have a warrant.
I can't do that, sir.
You do not comply, force will be used against you. This is the Albuquerque Police Department. We're police officers. You are under arrest. You're not free to leave. Okay? We need you to comply with us. We don't want to have to use force against you.
I'm under arrest
40,
for what?
40.
You have a
warrant for your arrest. For what?
kidnapping.
For kidnapping. For kidnapping who?
I don't know.
We'll talk about it, okay?
Yeah,
Right now, take your hands out of your pockets and step forward.
I need to put my pants on.
It's in your hands, Donald.
Face away from us. Stop right there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I need a cigarette.
We'll get you another one, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Donald. He did have that felony warrant for his arrest. It's for kidnapping.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was in regards to, but obviously we had to come and
That's
turn
fine.
up on it. Do you guys have any questions for us?
No,
No.
that's fine.
Okay. I don't know if and when he'll get out, if he'll call you guys what the deal is. But ultimately he is under arrest, and you guys are free to go back into your apartment.
Are you tired of being caught in similar situations with no legal representation? Well, then let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. And contrary to what you might have been told, size does matter. So who better to represent you when there are possibly millions of dollars on the table? All with little to no risk, because the fee is absolutely absolutely free unless you win. With a national team of over 100 offices and 1,000 local lawyers, recovering over $20 billion for their clients. With just a few minutes of time, you can see if you qualify for a case today. If you were in an accident or injured, protect your rights. Don't overthink it. Take action. You can start your claim today with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/kiwi. And thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. The people who the court claimed he kidnapped was his own family, due to a series of debacles during a police visit. This, along with his worsening mental state, was why Donald was taken to jail, and it seemed like his time in jail was not good. When Tophiachu was seen in court, he was noted as being disheveled and sickly. It seemed that his condition had only worsened in jail, so you would think him being released is a positive thing for the family, that they can't wait to see their dad again and help him through his crisis. But this is not what happened. Tophiachu would have to stay at a men's shelter where he still stays to this day. The conditions do not look ideal, but they are much better than what he was facing in jail. He now has a Twitter account, which I'm going to recommend to none of you as it is full of illicit images of himself, as well as some other disturbing posts. You see, the reason that Donald is living in the homeless shelter is because Tophia and Mamachu won't take him back. They were not homeless forever, eventually moving back into a motel, and now have the means to help house Tophiachu, who they have claimed during his entire incarceration is wrongly imprisoned, and that they cannot wait for him to come back home. But it has been months, and they have yet to take him back. In fact, the only time I hear them talking about him is when they are critical. Granted, Tophiachu does deserve some criticism. During a live stream of Mamachu's, Tophia would start complaining about posts that Tophiachu was making on his Twitter. Posts about underage girls.
I said about.
You said he posted
Underage.
about underage girls are gonna crop that and say you admitted that he posted about that. Can you stop? Please. I really hate that. Just don't respond to those comments. You don't know how to answer them correctly.
No, he was not.
That's why they take this stupid. Then they're gonna take this stupid thing and be like, look, she admitted that.
Nope, he wasn't thinking. I know what my husband does. And yes, I'm not condoning anything that he does.
I have not seen these posts of Tophiachu's. I don't even want to look at his Twitter. I've been told of the gross stuff that he posts there, but I gotta say I'm not surprised by this accusation. Tophiachu has made a number of extremely concerning statements. A number would actually be a massive understatement. He's said tons of stuff that is very controversial. And rightly so, Tophia is concerned that this will blow back on her. She isn't concerned about the status of her father, she's concerned about her public image. She honestly wishes that he would just disappear at this point, only bringing him up when he can be used to farm pity for her. A great example of this would be when Tophia got into an argument with a neighbor of hers. While I don't know the entirety of the story, it would appear that this neighbor is wise to Tophia's TikTok presence and knows about all the controversies that she has found herself in. And this neighbor has called Tophia out on things in the past. And during this particular clip, Tophia had gotten into an argument with them about calling the cops on her, mentioning her father Donald much in the way I just talked about.
Thank you for subscribing. Even the police had told me, your neighbor called on you. That wasn't the first time he called the police. He called the police on my father, then he called the police on us. And he literally had the nerve to stand there and tell the police, yeah, I start stuff.
He got in trouble for that.
So you're literally admitting you called the police for no reason. Because my brother called the police because they were starting with him. Every time my brother went out, him and his wife had shit to say. Always saying stuff, tell that fat bitch to come outside. Your husband was stalking my family, and you didn't even have the decency to even tell him to stop. I don't get the police involved unless it's someone from the internet. Otherwise, the police don't come down here. Not once have I ever called the police on my father. You don't know shit about me.
They didn't even care that he was missing. They blamed us.
It would appear that this neighbor called the police on Tophia and the Slidells, and that it had not been the first time. I have no idea what her father Donald had to do with any of this. He had gone to jail months previously and was already released, but I assume that the neighbor had called the cops on Tophiachu in the past before. I wanted to show this because I feel it paints a good picture as to how Tophia uses her father in the public eye. When she talks about him, it's as if he is some kind of victim, that the system has done nothing but hurt. But Tophia and Mamachu aren't doing anything to help. They wouldn't even post his bond when he was in jail, and that bond was extremely cheap. They do not care about this man in the slightest. The only time Mamachu seems to acknowledge him is when he is messaging other women on social media platforms. Mamachu has a Twitter of her own, and she has gotten into spats with people down in Tophiachu's comments, as well as scolding him for a number of his posts which are explicit. Tophiachu rarely responds, but has made numerous posts alluding to the fact that his family is doing nothing to help him. Tophia still seemingly has no contact with her father, and I don't know if she ever will again. She is far more interested in internet beefs, which seems to really be coming back to bite her. During a shopping trip with her mother, Tophiachu would be approached by a fan of her TikToks, and after she refused to take a picture, the fan got a little aggressive with her.
When people I think recognize me in public, it made me feel uncomfortable, and it was not a great experience. Please don't do that. I'm already going through so much. I didn't even been to the thrift store in a long time, but that experience was just it just made me, I was like, we need to just go. Please don't try to have a conversation with them because I'm just going to be silent. It was like a deer in headlights because I didn't know what to say. I just said, I'm not going to argue with you back and forth in a store. You look like a teenager and I'm not having that conversation with you. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for. When you walk up to someone like that and then after they don't answer you, you just stand there and stare at them. I just had to stand there and be like, I'm waiting for my mom. So I'm not going to tell you, go away. You're underage. I'm not I just didn't like that. I really didn't like that at all. That was not good.
It seemed like this interaction shook Tophia. She didn't seem to get that her presence online had grown to the point that she could be recognized in public pretty easily. It turned out that Tophia didn't get a lot of things about TikTok, and around October 3rd, this would result in her ban. While playing Sims one day, Tophia would make a fateful decision. She would encourage her Sims to reproduce. Not an issue to stream usually. They go under the covers, you don't actually see anything. But the issue here was that the Sims child was in the room while their parents were doing this, and this caused Tophia to be banned for child exploitation. Noticing this, she angrily booted up her second account and explained the situation to us.
You think people are gonna help me? I don't know anybody from TikTok.
A lot of people I know will help you.
It has to be somebody that knows someone that works at TikTok. Hey guys, I lost my live stream on my main account for good. It said youth exploitation and abuse. I don't have kids in real life TikTok. How did I exploit a youth? And how did I abuse someone if it's literally a game? It's Sims. I was just playing Sims. I was trying to get my Sims to eat. And literally you guys laughing, that's not funny because I was just playing Sims. It's unfair. I was literally just playing Sims. Where? I don't have children in real life. And now I lost my live stream access and can no longer go live on my main account because you wanted to literally make a claim on something that wasn't true? Thank you for the gift points. It's unfair. They took my happiness away. I literally was gonna do makeup and I was just gonna do stuff, but I guess I'm just gonna have to unalive myself because that's what it's like.
Tophia would make a number of concerning statements during this live stream, all while Mama Chu tried to comfort her, telling her not to worry, Mama Chu's people were gonna work on getting her unbanned, all in an attempt to console her daughter, who is devastated. This was her primary source of income, and in the blink of an eye, it was now gone. She would use the "it's just cartoons" defense in this situation, stating that because the Sims were cartoons and not real children, she could not be capable of child exploitation, failing to realize that quote-unquote artistic depictions of this stuff are still just as bad. She thought it would be funny to have the Sims' parents do what they did with a child in the room. It was not accidental, it was purposeful, is what I'm trying to say. Any person in their right mind would have wondered the legitimacy of streaming this to people, especially someone like Tophia, who is watched like a hawk, but due to that fatal mistake, I believe her TikTok account is gone forever. I can only imagine the amount of times that it's been reported, and now there was a legitimate reason to get rid of it. TikTok doesn't want to be seen as lenient on this kind of stuff, so they saw an opportunity to get rid of her and took it. This would devastate Tophia, who has been adamant that she will never get a job. She's a TikToker for life, and now she had lost her primary source of income from TikTok, live streams. Though she was still able to post videos, she could no longer go live on her main account due to the Sims activities. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, but to Tophia, it was. And she would make a number of concerning posts to her Insta regarding the situation.
And the sad thing about it is the only reason why I'm here and I'm alive is because I don't have a way to my life. People don't understand that I've been dealing with stuff off social media for the longest time. I've been trying so hard, but I have so much going on in my personal life on top of social media. I've just been trying to keep it all together. People don't understand. It's not just the incident of me losing my account is the reason why I want to go so badly. Like, I have things in my personal life that I deal with, personal life, and no one cares.
It's kind of disgusting to be acting this way as a result of no longer being able to live stream on TikTok. The situation is quite minor. You would think that her father being locked in jail or her going homeless would elicit a larger emotional reaction out of her, but no, because Tophia just wants the clout. At the heart of all of this, that's what it's about. Tophia wants to be loved and admired on TikTok as an influencer, making her living from it and never having to work a regular job. But that reality has slowly come crashing down around her, with all of the controversies she found herself in, and now this live streaming ban. Tophia and her family would be so much better off without the platform, by just doing some real work in the real world. Because look at what TikTok has brought them. Tophiachu still currently lives with her brother and mother in a motel room. Papachu is staying in a homeless shelter, and God only knows where Hershey is. My sincere advice to the family would be to quit the internet altogether and do what I just mentioned, because it will improve your life so much more than going down this continued path. But do I think they will listen? No. And do I think this story will get even worse? Yes, because it seems like there is no end to TikTok's most degenerate family.